Oh, you start eating food again just as it clicks. What are you eating now?
I'm not eating anything.
What were you doing then? That sounded like a crisp bag or something. I know
I was
we just
moving.
talked about microphones editing out sound, and all I can hear is
I'm moving my packet of biscuits away from the microphone.
food, exactly as I thought.
I'm
I
not
want to.
eating them, though.
I want to talk about my shirt that I'm wearing. I'm wearing my two heels and a face podcast shirt today. They had their 200th episode midweek. I was listening to the episode. It was kind of a little late. They're up in Central Standard Time, so I was getting ready for bed at that point. But I did tune in for a little while. Very good guys, and they introduced me to Warhorse. That's kind of where I found out about Warhorse to begin with, and also we have a connection with the wrestler GPA. Every time GPA appears, we boo #GPA. So whenever I see them, I always tag them in the photo, and it's kind of our little thing. Great guys. So yeah, good cop moment for them. 200 episodes. We're not that far away, Matt. I guess within less than a year we'll probably be at 200 as well, which seems ridiculous right now.
Well,
but
yeah, even
yeah,
I could do that maths.
200 episodes is still impressive.
It is impressive, Graham. To be fair, if you get past 4, it's meant to be a success. To be fair, so we're doing very well, Graham.
Yep. I hope you want to talk a little bit more about your steps. You talked a little bit in the main show, but because I kind of said, "Whoops, that's got rid of all my stuff."
I do want to talk a bit about my steps, Graham, because it has been. It's been. I've mentioned at times how much of a struggle it has been, and it was a real struggle for me this month doing all those steps, raising money for charity. It's something I thought, well, I said in passing, I can do this. I mean, it's not that hard to do 11,000 steps, surely. Oh God, is it? It really is.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, for a little bit of context, my work pattern is I do 3 long days, and then I do 3 short days, and then I do 1 long day, and then I have 3 days off, then I have 3 short days, I have 1 day off, and I'm back round the cycle again. So long days, work, piece of piss. No problem at all. Short days, I'll do 8,500, and so I have to try and top that up, obviously.
Yeah.
On the days I don't work, and I looked this up, my birthday, I did 54 steps all day.
And
I went out.
Yeah.
So I went out, got in the car with my mum, went to the pub, had lunch, came back. I still did 54 steps all day.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous. So I'm going from 0. So on the days I wasn't working, I was going almost literally from 0 to 11,000. And when it was a nice day, not a problem.
Yeah.
Lovely day, lovely problem. I sent you a video earlier, Graham, of the weather we had earlier. And
not good.
You might have noticed, Graham, by the way, I'm not recording in the front room today. You might have noticed I'm in the bedroom today, and part of the reason is because Chris watching Strictly Come Dancing, and to be fair, before we were recording, so was I. I'm catching the rest of it after we finish this episode. But the other reason is because we've got this white grating outside of our window, and when the wind catches around that, you cannot hear. On a podcast, you can't edit it out. It's so high pitched; it's above the crispy level.
Okay.
So we actually once recording Dungeon Junkies, we had to re-record the whole episode because of it.
Oh God! And you do long episodes for that show as well.
Alex. Thankfully, we had to re-record it anyway because certain things were wrong in general. But yeah, it was not good. So yeah, I'm relocating into here for this evening. Don't worry, next week. I'm not even on the pre-show next week. Actually, I might be on the pre-show next week, Graham. I might be on the pre-show next week, Graham, because I can record from my hotel room next week.
We don't have to do it on the day of Saturday anyway. We can record it on Wednesday or Tuesday. We can record it on any day in theory.
Well, in that case, then Graham, I'll see you in 5 minutes for that. That's fine.
Well, we could go back to back. I have way more things.
No, I am joking, of course, Graham. I've got a life going with after this. It's all good. I've got stuff to watch ready for.
MGB. You had an hour and a half window built in, but no, you go Strictly Come Dancing is way more important than talking to me.
And I've also got to do my research ready for the very important Liverpool Man City game tomorrow on Checkers.
Of course, yeah.
I expect you'll be in the chat for that, of course, Graham.
Probably not actually, because it's around lunchtime. So I'll probably either be out disc golfing or I'll actually might even go to a bar and watch the game. I'm thinking about that was one of my other options. It's not on Peacock, so I can't watch it at home.
Did you see the video I made for the start of the season, Tottenham v Man City? I made a special. It was a Hollywood-esque video. I'm giving that face. You missed that part of it.
I think you even sent it to me as well, and I think it got lost in the chat line somewhere.
Well, I will forward it to you later. It's only a couple of minutes for the 2 videos. So I made one for tomorrow, and I think it's really, really good.
Okay.
Just for the record, Tanner and Mags have not seen it.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to be seeing it live on the stream tomorrow. I have, however, run it past Alex, Kerry, and Chris, and they all said that they thought it was better than the first one I did. And everyone liked the first one, so that's not a bad start. Yeah. So if you're into it, what we'll do that is then, guys, tune in to Techers tomorrow on the Techers channel for that. We're doing quite well, by the way. We're up to 62 subscribers now.
Nice.
Indeed. And we're getting in some places hundreds of views on some of the watch-longs. That one I did on my own, Graham, it's the 3rd most watched video on the channel in total. In fact, it's amazing the support we've had, and not just from yourself, Graham, even when it's about bloody Brussels sprouts.
You got very fired up about that last week. I didn't realize that resonated with you so much. Like, we talked about it, and then I wasn't expecting it to reappear on Techers when I was there.
I spent a lot of time thinking about it last week, Graham.
And it was on View from the Top Rope as well. Diesel's response was just brilliant.
It was, and it continued into the group chat afterwards, and you were like, "Is it still going on?" I was like, "Yes, it is."
I didn't realize it was still going.
Now, I want to take a cracker.
I do want to talk about steps a little bit as well. So, being the mathematician, so obviously the first month I just kind of did it because I thought we were doing it, and then last month I just did it because I said I was going to support you, and I just wanted to keep going. I actually went back. I created a spreadsheet, the mathematician in me. I was curious to see how many steps I'd actually walked. So for this year, Matt, it was January 100. I rounded to the nearest 10,000. Okay, January 100,000, February 40,000, March 130,000. April 110,000. So you did this, just for context, in that last month you did about 350,000, right? Something in that ballpark.
The actual number, Graham. I can give you the actual number, Graham. So I did it every single day, Graham. It was 300.
Not round either, so you got to give me that number. You don't know how to round numbers, so you got to give me.
I do. It was 372,000.
Oh, 370,000. Okay. Now, May and June time was when the boys were playing lacrosse, and I used to walk around the track, and I used to listen to the UTT podcast, because I always say, hey, it's lacrosse practice, I'm listening to you guys.
Great show.
Those 2 months, it went up 200,000, 230,000. Now, July, I wasn't doing it for any particular reason, but when I'm on holiday, I do tend to play disc golf more, and I get more steps in. 230,000. August, the month that I started, I got 400,000, and then last month I was down a little bit, but 340,000. So I averaged over 11,000 a day. Now, I was kind of curious, and today I was like, I wonder how many I did last year. So I went back. So July 2020, I had 220,000, which is basically the same number because, like I say, during the summer, I'm normally out playing disc golf. August 2020, Matt, 130,000. September 2020, 120,000. Now, I think this is kind of one of those little myths that I've heard people talk about before. Like, when you're gaining weight, people who are overweight tend to underestimate the number of calories that they've eaten. And I think on a similar note, I consider myself a little bit of a walker. Like, I do go out disc golfing and I'll often just go for a walk. I think I massively underestimated how much I'd actually been doing. I thought I was like, hey, I'm gaining weight. Like, I'm getting outside and I'm walking. And then I looked at those figures this morning, 130,000 and 120,000. That's way, way under what I thought I did. Like, I actually looked the last 2 months, Matt, I have walked more than I did for the whole of the last 6 months of the year last year. So this is something this is not an end of the month for me. I called you out the other day. I said, hey, you need to tell me October 1st. I know it's the end of the month. I want to know how many steps you did because I don't want you quitting instantly either as well. I want you to. I'm not saying you got to do it every day, but I don't want you suddenly going back to like that 0 figure as well. Particularly if you're serious about losing weight as well.
Well, I'm just looking, Graham, at a particular weekend that we spent in New Jersey, Graham.
Ooh, that could be a lot of steps for that.
Well, the Thursday, which was when I flew out, I did 7,500.
Oh, that's more than I would have thought. Okay.
The Friday, I did 10,000.
Saturday was the big day when we started walking around New York City.
So how many do you think it was?
I haven't had a day when I walked around with Mason. When we went around New York City, we did about 30,000, but we walked from Brooklyn all the way. So I know we didn't go as far as that, but I'm going to guess it's somewhere between 20,000 and 22,000, somewhere around that figure, perhaps.
14,342.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Wow, we went so far that day as well. I thought we'd gone so far that day. We did a lot.
We took a lot of trains, Graham.
We did.
We also took a boat.
When we left Madison. Oh, of course, when we left Madison Square Gardens, that was was that after midnight? It was. So that would have run into the next day.
Well, Sunday I did 11,932.
See, some of that would have been the runoff though, because remember we went. I chose the wrong direction, and we walked like a mile the wrong direction, and we had to walk like a mile back again.
See, now he blamed himself, guys, but at that time he blamed his phone. The Monday, by the way, I did 9,000 steps.
That's pretty impressive because most of that was in a car, driving to the airport, and then sitting on a plane.
I did do a lot of walking around at the airport whilst I was waiting for thing. The Tuesday, I did 9,000 steps again. A day I landed, and then the Wednesday, 145.
Yeah,
the jet lag. It's quite me.
Sure. That's what I found out when I was putting all these figures together. Like, I was shocked, like, how many days I had less than 1,000 steps. And I'm like, all right, I guess I've been kidding myself that I was doing more than I thought I was actually doing. So this has actually been really interesting to me as a number person. Like, I love number crunching anyway. But anyway, so my figures so far, Matt, I asked you last week how much weight you'd lost. So month 1 for me, I lost 10 pounds. Month 2, I've lost 8 pounds. I don't think I've ever lost 18 pounds in 2 months before. And I don't even think I'm doing that much. Like, I'm not running or anything. Like, all I'm doing is walking, and my eating habits have changed a little bit, but nothing dramatic. Like, I still had pizza last night. I still had one more slice than I needed. So, yeah, I'm going to keep going, but I need to avoid some of those awful months, like January, 100,000, February, 40,000. Like, I know sometimes snow's on the ground. It's not easy, but yeah, I'm going to keep myself more accountable. Yeah. I'm going to keep the step count going. Whether I manage to do, I haven't had a full month yet when I've done 10,000 steps because I missed that one day in September when I was self-quarantining. I was like, I'll just stay in for today. And I didn't do the first day in August because I didn't realize that we were at that point. I started on August 2nd. I thought you were telling me, hey, I'm doing this. So that was my confusion. But I would like to get a full month in with 10,000 each day.
What I would like to point out is that when I was in Florida for Disney, and you're going to roll your eyes about Disney reference, but while I was there, the only day I didn't do 19,000 steps plus was on Sunday the 10th, which I still did 9,500. And the reason why that is because my phone was in the locker while I was swimming around in the water park. Apart from that, it was intense. Disney is a proper step workout. That's why they run marathons at Disney. They actually have half marathons all the time.
You do have to move around. I understand that part. Like, it's not like you're sat passively, like watching a Disney film or something. You are walking around the park. You're going and checking things out, and I understand that side of it as well.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, it is good for your legs, Graham, and they do some amazing coffee.
Yeah. I apologize for looking down at my phone. I just saw I had a message that had the word Mason in it from my wife, so I needed to check.
What's he done now?
He hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything, but I just needed to. She was just asking, "Are we recording MGB?" No.
That's okay.
As we talked about earlier, we are not.
Absolutely. There are. Someone's on the naughty chair this week, guys. I want to ask you, Graham, about Biscuits.
What a classic fighting talk topic. Yes.
Now,
we're talking about English biscuits, I'm assuming, are we?
We are talking about the humble digestive.
Okay, that you were modelling earlier, and you were start of the show.
I'm going to model the digestive for the benefit of the camera, which is amazing. We can do on the pre-show, of course.
They're not allowed. They have them in America, but they're not allowed to call them digestives because they don't have any digestive powers. So it's a naming thing.
It's terrible. So these are obviously
McVitie's.
These are obviously of a brand I have to cover the name of the brand
for name, but hey, that's all right.
Yeah. So this is the seasonal edition. And what flavour do you think they are, Graham?
Well, it looks like chocolate to me.
They're not chocolate flavoured.
What are they then?
Christmas pudding flavour.
Oh, jeez. In October? Oh, God.
Graham, you have to get your stuff in for Christmas. Especially all the turkeys are sold out today at shopping.
That packet's going to be finished before way before Christmas. You're telling me you're going to have one biscuit a week up until Christmas?
Fuck no, it'll be gone tonight.
What did you want to ask about biscuits?
The question I wanted to ask you about biscuits, Graham, is what is your favourite kind of biscuit? Because there is so many, and also are you a dunker? Or you a dunker or lunatic, one of the two.
I'm not a big biscuit person. I don't really have a sweet tooth. I'm much more of a savory person. If there's meals, I'm going for seconds. I'm not worried about dessert particularly. But I do like an occasional chocolate biscuit. I have to admit, the chocolate digestive that you demonstrated a second ago. That would be good. But it would be an occasional thing. Like I'm not doing that. I'm not eating a packet in a day like you just talked about.
I won't legitimately be eating them in one go. I'm not.
I'll give one that's underrated.
I know it's
Garibaldi biscuit. I think is very underrated. I like
Garibaldi. Yes.
Yeah, I think that one's all right. But in general, I'm sorry. I know I'm not helping the conversation, but I'm not really a biscuit person. I much prefer the American biscuit with sausage gravy on it. That's definitely far more appealing to me.
Do you know what the thing is? The ironic thing is, Graham, with that whole chocolate sausage and sausage gravy fountain thing, which Mags and Tanner have started over on Techers, I actually made sausage gravy this week.
Oh, okay.
And it's so thick you could literally eat it with a knife. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. To be fair, so you obviously don't dunk your biscuits in your tea then.
If I have them, I would. But I don't do it very often. So
here's the weird thing, Graham, about this. Okay, my mother has got 4 children. My mum says that only heathens, her words, will dunk biscuits in their tea or coffee. All 4 of her children do it.
Okay, so you're a heathen then. And so am I.
Graham, I'm going to hell. Graham, if God exists, I'm going to hell in a handbasket. Do you really think I'm going to care about having he dunked biscuits on his gravestone?
I don't have good habits, and I blame my mom for them. So I'm the person that gets the finger and goes around the side of the plate. Make sure you get the last bit of juice there.
I'm worse. I actually lick my plate sometimes.
I don't lick it, but my mom will no shame get the plate and like tip it back into her mouth. Do you do
it for crisp, like pour a pint of beer?
I don't do that. I do not do that. Now I am curious then. So for soup, like if you got bread with it, would you use the bread to mop up afterwards, or would you like break it into pieces and drop it into the soup, or would you do neither?
No, I usually like dunk it in the soup and just eat it like that.
Yeah, I would do that as well. But some people, they break it up and put it into the soup because they think that's more sophisticated. Like
if you want to do that, you get croutons.
We're on the same page then. I think we have very similar eating habits in regards to things like that. Then
we do on that side of things, Graham. I feel for sure. It reminds me of the dunking thing. It reminds me. Obviously, you know of the amazing 90s comedy in the UK called Keeping Up Appearances.
Of course, yes. Hyacinth Bouquet, yes. Patricia Routledge. Yep.
Routledge.
How appropriate with bouquet and bucket, yes.
Indeed, very appropriate actually. One of the best comedic actors of her time, without a question. One of Chris's favourites in general. Well, I remember once in one of the episodes, you had Daisy, who was Hyacinth's sister.
Yeah.
She's sitting there with a cup of tea and a portion of chips on her lap, and she starts dunking the chips in her tea.
We're talking about French fries for our American listeners.
Yeah, chunky steak cut potato, basically. Yeah, and they would, and she's like, see, she's not sophisticated, is she? Bang, 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 and the studio audience is like, oh, what are you doing, woman? She was amazing. They were all amazing actors and actresses, of course. It was a who's who of comedy at the time, and just remember dunking it always make me chuckle about Daisy dunking her chips.
All right, I got an announcement. I hate that show. I think it's terrible. I did not think it was funny at all. Hyacinth was basically my grandma. I know you've never met my grandma, but she
I think
was
I just
Hyacinth.
have.
She was exactly like that. There were so many tendencies, and it's like, yep, she would do that. She would. She thought she was far higher than she actually was, and yeah, little things around the house that were just totally unnecessary. And I guess as well, kind of a henpecked husband as well to a degree as well. And yeah, there was a lot of similarities.
You can't have another order of fried squid and a 45. It's not the Chinese takeaway. Do I sound like the Green Lotus? Would have been the Green Dragon. Graham, even I get you didn't like it for that reason, and of course you're entitled to that. But I'm surprised you didn't enjoy like the phone call conversations that she used to have sometimes, where she was like no in the house, and she's like patting herself down with her duster because she's getting flustered.
I just didn't think there needed to. I don't know how many episodes there were, but I don't think there needs to be multiple seasons. Once you've seen one, you've seen them all. It's all pretty similar. Like I get it. There's 3 seasons, so is there like 18 shows total? They're normally 6.
I think they're more than that. To be fair, Graham, I think maybe 12.
Okay, whatever it was, like I got it. It didn't offer anything new to me each time. It was like it's the same joke over and over again. So,
but it worked for Fawlty Towers.
I watched it because it was one that my parents watched, and at the time when not everyone else, you didn't have your own TV in your bedroom necessarily. It was like whatever's on the TV, you're either watching it or you're going without. So we'd be like, sure, I'll kind of watch it, I guess. But hey.
I guess we'll agree or disagree on that one, then, Graham.
Yep. I had one quote I was going to read to you. It might be a little early, but I'm not sure I want to save it for any longer. Maxwell Jacob Friedman at the MGF. The time of year where grown men and women pretend it's acceptable to dress up and post about how Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th are good movies is upon us. Grow up. I'm guessing, I personally hate Halloween. I have a feeling that you might be one of those types of people who loves Halloween, considering the dress-up side of it, considering kind of the similarities with Dungeons and Dragons. I'm making connections. Matt's reaching for something to try and provide evidence, I think. All right, Matt, go ahead. Tell us about Halloween. Are you excited about it? Like I don't have one friend who's been posting about Halloween since July, which I think is ridiculous. But hey,
that's a bit much, right?
I would agree. Thoughts on Halloween?
My thoughts on Halloween, Graham?
Got his costume already. Can't really see. Oh, you got a light up, Jack. Okay, I see.
I've got a Halloween.
Is that spiders' webs on there?
Yeah, spiders' webs and skeletons.
It was a disc golf basket to begin with. Okay.
It's from when I went to Disney a couple of years ago. I didn't have a Halloween shirt or anything, so I bought a waistcoat and I wore it over my Disney shirt I was wearing at the time, and I thought it was really cool. And I wore it last year for Halloween. It was just me and Chris at High Robbery last year, but yeah. It was kind of fun. I wore it during Halloween episode we ran for D&D, and to be fair, Halloween at the core level is just a bit of harmless fun. At the core level, that's all it is. And to be fair, MJF saying that, you roll around in your underwear for a living, mate. Go over yourself.
He's obviously being a heel character. He
Yeah,
knows
I
that
know.
most people love Halloween. Halloween's really loved in America. There are, I think, a fair number of people in England who just despise Halloween. And I kind of thought, I think my parents didn't like it, and I think that's probably why I don't like it as well. Like people knocking on your door, people being disturbed, like you'd switch your lights off and pretend you weren't there. And Mischievous Night was another name for it because people just used to play tricks. And it's just not a very, British people don't really appreciate it.
So you say, Graham, that you don't have people come to your door on the 31st of October saying, trick or treat?
Well, the thing is, we normally go out with like Mason or now Jackson, and we'll walk around with them. So what do you do? So we tend to leave like a bowl out, and like we've checked back in, and we've seen too many cases where people have just been greedy and like tipped it up and emptied it into their bag kind of thing. And I caught one group that did that one year, and they emptied it back in. I think they put more back in than they took in the first place. But I just think
Graham, you're not working on an interest plan here, Graham.
I know.
You're not meant to take the candy out of it.
But we do it for the little kids because we want them to be able to get some. But then there's teenagers that do it as well, and it's like, come on. Absolutely. Or some of them don't even have a costume on.
I wore that, Graham, trick or treating at Disneyland.
I can well believe that.
My haul. I'm going to send you a video of my haul I got at Disney World. I was still eating it. I got back to the UK. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Lee Mack summed it up perfectly for me. I'm not sure if it was from the show Not Going Out, but like somebody knocks on the door and he's like, trick or treat. And he's like, no. And he's like, but it's a tradition. And it's like, not here, it's not. It's like, it's an American tradition. It's like, oh, you like American traditions? Well, let me get my gun for a second. Now, that kind of sums up my feeling of Halloween as well. Like, it's just.
I was going to say, Graham, what you need to do, Graham, is you need to get someone who looks like you to stand on your doorstep with a loaded Glock. If you're going to go, if Arn Anderson says you can do it, everyone can do it, right?
I think my costume that I wore in a few years is a zombie hot dog. It's very random, but it was a cheap one. It was the following year. That when they sell all the stuff off, it was like 75% off. I was like, sure, I'll get that away, put it away for a year. But I needed something to walk around with the boys on, so I've done that a few times.
That's really cool. I like that.
Jackson actually has, and I guess he might have forgotten. I gave it to him, I think, for his birthday. He's actually got a John Cena Halloween costume for this year. I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, it was on sale, and I was like, hey,
he'll love it.
He's worn the shirt. Like, I love the abs on it. Like, it's got a fake ab thing that you put on, and it's got like fake muscles you can put to your. I thought it looked pretty cool. I thought he would like it. He did.
He'll wear it because he's. I'm going to say 7.
He is 7, but he could change his mind as well. Like, he had that before. One year he was like, I definitely want to be this character. Like, we got the thing, and then the few days before he's like, I want to be like a werewolf or something. It was like, oh, for God's sake. So it is possible he might change his mind, but we'll have to see. All right, I figured you'd kind of be a Halloween person.
I haven't got my wolf mask to hand, unfortunately, Graham. That's in the front with my dragon mask and my crowbar.
Mason has one, but I don't know if we might have taken it to the charity store since. I don't remember. He
did. A crowbar?
No, a wolf mask.
A crowbar is very much a thing about. Apologies. My dragonborn called Shambles, and he is an idiot. He's an absolute idiot. Instead of using his spells or his fire breath, he'll go around clobbering people with a crowbar.
Lovely.
He is so simple, and he's lovely, and I adore him. And I'm wearing an EGX. I'm going to walk through with that mask on and the big hood and carrying a crowbar. It's not a real crowbar for the record. It is a foam crowbar because I have to get through the weapons check desk. But it's actually a weapons check desk because everyone who cosplays brings a weapon. You can't have no metal blades, and you can't have nothing that can actually fire a bullet, which includes BB gun.
I think that's pretty reasonable. Hey, we're nearly at 30 minutes, so I think we should wrap this up.
Works for me, buddy. I will be back hopefully next week. If not, guys, have fun with Bet and Beaumont next week on Good Cop, Bad Cop.
I guess that ruins my announcement I did on the show now, because this is going to come out before the show. But hey, that's all right. If you listen to this, you're obviously going to listen to the show anyway. So
I'm out of here.
Boom. Click stop.